reinforced learning through human feedback, because only these CAs would train the model, would tell the model that your accuracy right now is 78%. How to take it to 80% would be this human's intervention. The world today does not need a CA or a technologist. The world needs a perfect amalgamation of both. Let me tell you that which is the most sought after job right now in the world, which didn't exist 3 months back. The profile which I'm going to talk about was not existing just 3 months back. That profile is known as forward deployment engineer. Now everybody is not looking to software development engineer or finance officers or maybe some finance consultants. They're looking for the forward deployment engineer. An engineer who understands the technology, who understands the finance, who understands the risk in the finance, and who can craft decisions in microseconds. I know that these people are very well informed because they are actually facing the challenges on their own. But I beseech all of them to kindly enlighten my students on two basic things. I request all of you that more than the skill set, the most important is the will set. You might have the skill, but if you do not have the will to do that particular thing, you will never ever succeed. Please create that framework in their mind that more than the skill set, will set is more important. The second thing which I would urge, beseech, request is that to create that curiosity that life is much more exciting than Instagrams or GPTs of this world. A reel can just inform you about finance. A reel can inform you about what? About accounting. But real accounting and real learning would only happen when you practice it. Not even study it. The principle of LPU, let me tell it to you, we have taken a pledge for students, stop studying. You might be aghast on this. But after comma, we say, start learning. And for teachers, we have taken a pledge, stop teaching. But after comma, it is very, very clear to us, start engaging. Let them come out of that cocoons of being self-styled professionals to be more than a learned and learnable, trainable professionals. I am sure that with this learned, august gathering, a lot of knowledge is going to actually assured, bestowed to the audience. I wish this conference, this conclave to be a great success, which it is going to be. Thank you once again. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for addressing the audience and sharing such insightful thoughts with all of us.
We now move towards into the first major conversation of the day. Our first panel is titled AI and Your Future Career, Threats or Opportunities. But before moving forward, we would like to present an AV on AI for accounting jobs. So let's get into the montage. I request the technical team to kindly present the AV video.
Professional judgment or take responsibility. Worried AI is coming for accounting jobs? AI can reconcile numbers, it can support reviews and flag exceptions, but it cannot replace professional judgment or take responsibility for complex financial decisions. Big Four firms don't want fewer CPAs because of AI. They want CPAs who can work with AI. Having a CPA license builds credibility and judgment to make the final call. Samandar brings Becker's global CPA exam preparation to India with guidance built for candidates here.
And to help us explore more into it, we have an outstanding group of corporate leaders joining us today onto the stage. And with this, I would like to invite our moderator for the session, Sri Rajesh Asopa, Vice President, Standard Chartered Bank, to lead the conversation. And now may I also invite our distinguished panelist of the day to join us on the stage. With this, I invite Ms. Jayashree Sathya, Managing Director, State Street, Sri Jogendra Singh, President and Group CFO, Hero Corporate Services, Sri Akash Sharma, Managing Director, PwC India, Sri Amit Agarwal, Partner, BDO India, Sri Soma Gullapudi, Managing Director, BDO Assurance, Sri Arun, Assurance Service Line Leader, Baker Tilly One India, and Dr. Nisha Agarwal, Associate Director, HSBC. And ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause for our panel of the day. And now, Rajesh ji, over to you.
Check. 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 Is it working? Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible? Check. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. So I'll start with Jayashree. There's no particular order, but women leaders are leading in quite a number, and also I see in the institutions there's a good number of women future leaders. So I'll start with Jayashree. Nothing against you. Let's start with the question. Many students are asking, as AI takes over more routine work, which entry-level roles or tasks are most likely to change, and where will the new opportunities emerge?
Hello. Hi. Thanks for having me on this panel, first of all, and thank you for that question, Rajesh. And thank you for going with me first as a woman leader. So anyways, it's a very relevant and a good question, right? Which we get asked all the time, in fact, we ask ourselves all the time as well in terms of, from a corporate perspective, in terms of what do we need to do with AI? How do we need to leverage AI to the maximum potential? And how do we hire for the future, right? So when we are looking at AI, from which roles will it eliminate? I would rather say which roles would it enrich? Yes, the entry-level roles are definitely going to be enriched for starters, and it's going to enrich all the roles upwards, right? It's not just the entry level. But the focus is largely on entry level, the reason being that the specific tasks, repetitive tasks that we have been doing today in across industries, right? And to say the least, accounting and finance, which is reconciling, data collation, data checking, all those tasks are definitely going to be replaced by AI, because AI can do it more efficiently, quicker, faster, and leaving our entry-level freshers, or rather our employees who have come into the workplace first, to focus more on looking at the data, interpreting the data, analyzing the data, and facilitating the next decision-making process within within whichever business function they are, right? So that's what is going to happen. Here I would really want to take a pause, because that's exactly how I keep thinking as well, because when I started my career in accounting with audit, I had huge amount of ledgers, which used to be general ledgers, which used to be a printed copy. And when we had to do audits, we had to go through those ledgers physically and have calculators to calculate what would be the impact on the balance sheet, what would be the impact on the P&L, and so on and so forth. So it was largely calculator intense, right? Come few years later, it became Excel intense, right? So everything was within Excel, all the softwares were providing all the data inputs and so on. We didn't really have to go through this huge pile of general ledgers and so on and so forth. So Excel, completely game changer. Did it really change, eliminate our jobs of entry-level article trainees and so on? No, absolutely not. Did it really make it better? Of course, yes. Because I used to remember that the piles of general ledger were so large that I had to stand up and do, considering my height was not so large, right? So it really enriched me. I could sit on my desk and get the audit done, right? Come a few years later, of course, even the Excel became a little more better with a lot of formulas and everything really inbuilt into it, models inbuilt into it. It eased our process, right? AI is nothing else than the evolution to the next step. So that's exactly how I would look at it. So it is not definitely going to eliminate roles, eliminate tasks, in fact, enrich the work that we do. So that's what I would say.
Thank you, Jayashree, for an amazing insight. And I cannot leave this question without a couple of inputs from Amit as well, because I have seen some of his presentation on AI and would definitely love a couple of words.
I think Jayashree has well covered, but if I were to add my 2 cents on it, I would say when we talk about the current evolution or current state of affairs we are at, ChatGPT is the baseline. People get confused. So maybe many of the students feel, okay, ChatGPT is AI. That is the baseline. Each one of you sitting in this room has access to ChatGPT. So how do you differentiate yourself would be the real game changer. How do you unlock a clear use case? Like how Jayashree mentioned, when you are talking about doing real work, how you put the AI to a use case is the future. I would envy all of you sitting in the room because you are in a time zone where you are blessed to be able to be part of this experience and be able to take the AI journey which is in the evolution stage. So imagine somebody right now in the working environment who is already, say, 2 decades of experience, how difficult it is for them to imbibe AI vis-a-vis how you can bring that value chain. So I would, like how your professor said, to bring the motivation levels high, I would rather say you are already motivated because you are at the right cusp of the thing. What you all need is a line of direction, line of guidance, how you can unlock value by using AI to best of your abilities.
Thank you, Amit. Moving on to Joginder sir, because amongst us, I think nobody have worked more than fresh graduates, more than you. So a very interesting question for you. If you are hiring a fresh graduate today, what would make you say the person knows how to work with AI rather than simply saying that person knows how to use a ChatGPT?
Oh, wow. Wonderful question. Thank you very much. And yeah, of course, almost about 45 years of experience. So you have seen all kinds of phases in the world and still curious. So, as far as ChatGPT is concerned today, I've seen even farmer using ChatGPT, to really look at the weather pattern or things like that. So today that has become like Google. So saying that you can use ChatGPT is saying like, I can use Google. Does it make any sense? Does it add any value? Is that any differentiator? Absolutely not. In our scriptures we said, Buddhir balvatam balam. Intelligence is the strength of the strong. And that's how I really look at it, How do you get that intelligence which is taking artificial intelligence as a tool, with you, to find what are the problems to be solved. So I'd like to give, Professor Sir was, when he was speaking, he was talking about giving a frame, kind of a thing. So I'll try and give a frame on, what I would like to really look in a person while I'm trying to recruit. So the first thing is, can you really frame the problem? So I want to really understand, do you get deeper into the question and try and see how can you frame a problem? I don't want to see I can solve a problem. Question given, ChatGPT gives you answer. Absolutely not. The question is primarily how are you framing an issue? I'll give you an example. So a balance sheet comes to me, or I want to really, want to do an M&A transaction. I want to buy a company, and I see the company is the return on capital employed is deteriorating. So one person can say, analyze the company. So that's one result, ChatGPT might give. Or somebody say, please look at the factors that are impacting the ROC, whether these are structural factors or seasonal factors, what can be done to take care of these factors, how can I improve? This is kind of an analysis that we can do, that we not only look at the descriptive analysis, but also a predictive and prescriptive analysis. So it will truly depend upon how well you define or frame a question. So that's number one. Number two, can you challenge the result that you get from ChatGPT? So to say, I'm saying all kinds of GenAIs that we are using, but ChatGPT is just an example I'm talking about. Can you truly challenge that? Do you believe? Can you identify the kind of bias, hallucination, and things like that? Three, can you combine this with the domain knowledge? I think domain knowledge is extremely important. You have to be a CPA, then you have to be a CPA to understand what are the true requirements for, let's say, tax filing in US or within India. Or if you want to, look at the treasury, so what kind of, issues you're dealing with the treasury. If you understand, then you can challenge those assumptions, those results, and can say, I'm still not satisfied with what I got from ChatGPT, instead of, just putting it in ChatGPT and, so this is just like, I take something and I vomit it out. This is nothing different from the kind of rote system, exam system that we used to have. So that's the third one. The fourth, I would also say, you look at a problem as a workflow. So what is a workflow? I don't want to say, question, answer. Instead of that, if you can really look at what is the problem, what is the data, what are assumptions, what is the output, what is human in the loop, always remain. So which means basically we are talking about validating, the data or the result that is coming out of it. And is there any feedback loop, that is there? That's looking at a problem in a feedback, in a workflow kind of a situation. So you need to understand that look at, let's say whatever ChatGPT or something, not as a question answer mode, but in a workflow kind of a method. And fifth and final, in my view, what is very important is, can you work without GPT, ChatGPT? Can I just switch off the AI and then say, now look at it, this is a problem. Can you look at the assumptions? Can you look at what is wrong with these assumptions? And with my 40 years of experience, 40 plus years of experience, I can tell you, I've seen enough stories, I've seen enough areas where the biggest issue is the assumptions that you have taken. Either, you have taken too, easy kind of assumption or not too challenging kinds of assumption, or you take to the other extreme. So if you put it in this kind of a frame, I think that is the kind of a person I would like to take, not somebody who says, I can work with ChatGPT. And I'll give you an example. We were working in our own companies with some issues and problems, and then somebody came up and he defined the problem in such a beautiful way. We were using a call center for renewal of insurance. So we have an insurance broking company. And he said, can I really use it in a way, use artificial intelligence on this to say we listen to these conversations, and out of, let's say, 100,000 conversations that have happened, I can identify that these are 10,000 conversations where my renewal probability is much higher. And believe me, once we put that into operation, our renewals went up by almost about 5%. And when we do 1 crore policies, 5%, you can just understand, what volume that be. So my formula at the end would be very clear, for today, AI, in my mind, is going towards the decision intelligence instead of, artificial intelligence alone. So I always say AI plus BI plus HI is equal to DI. So what is that? Artificial intelligence plus business intelligence plus human intelligence, human in the loop, for judgment, for validation. That is when you will get something which is capable of taking decision and gives you decision intelligence. And that's the person I'd like to take.
Thank you, Joginder sir, for your insights. And to sum it up, at the end of the day, it's asli intelligence which is important. And taking forward the conversation to Akash, as a business leader, where are you seeing already AI changing the world, the way your team work, and what does that mean for the graduates you will hire over the next 2-3 years? A very important question for you, my friends.
Right, I think, and the most tough one also, because it's difficult to say where AI is changing the future, right? But I think we all know AI is changing the future, right? So there's nothing new. But what is it for the graduates or for people whom we are hiring the new, right? So if you talk about, let's say, a few years back, when we used to hire articles or graduates, they used to spend a lot of their time in going through the Excels, spending their evenings, late nights in terms of going through the 500 pages or 100 pages of audit reports, right? Or the tax reports and others, right? Now all those things are being done by AI, right? That doesn't mean that we don't need graduates, right? They are still there. But what do we need them for? We now need those people to be more thinker, right? Critical thinkers. What are the observations coming out of those reports, right? What are the outliers in those reports, right? We don't need you to spend 2 hours or 3 hours in running Excels, right? Running out the formulas. That all is being done now by AI. It's more about what is that critical inputs. You should know those business drivers. If today, as a CFO, let's say, sir is asking that, okay, what is that one piece that is driving my expenses higher, right? You can put up an Excel formula and say, okay, it is your staff cost, for an example, which is driving it. But why is it that your staff cost has increased, right? Is it the inflation? Is it something that you are hiring more people, or is it what are you spending more on, right? Those critical thinkers is what is expected out of you. It's not more about running the formulas and others, right? I'll put up a small story and link it to Ajay, what you were saying, and Jayashree ma'am, right? It was 20 years back, and I had gone to a bank, right? It was an SBI bank with my mom, and her friend used to work at that bank, right? And it was 20 years back when the computers had just come in, right? And we're like, okay, we all used to be as graduates when I used to be, right? Like, I'm frequent with computer, right? Why is this lady on the counter taking so long, right? And she would do like this one, right, typing, because that's how they were learning at that point of time, right? And I was like, oh, I'm already generations ahead because I know the computers, right? And that's where the era where all of you guys are, right? When you join someone, right? You would have already learned and professional of those AI. Somebody while you might be joining, they're still in learning phases. So you're already an edge above them, right? And bring that to your advantage to say that what is it that you can bring in more rather than trying to see that what already they are doing, right? So that's my 2 cents on where the graduates will bring in, right? Second question to you, what are those skill sets or something, right? The skill sets are not going to change, right? It's still, you need to be more analytical, you need to be more deep thinker, right? All those are the basic skill sets. Use AI as a tool to enable you, right? Do not make it, do not make yourself too comfortable that it enables you, right? Make AI as your enabler, right? You need to learn to read the results out of it and try to make those decision thinkers, right? Those are my 2 cents on that.
Thank you so much, Akash, for your thoughts, and it's really important and insightful for the students here. Moving on to Amit, your favorite topic on AI, and it is continuation to the conversation we had so far. AI tools will keep changing. All of us use different tools, right? What underlying skills should the students build that you believe will still matter in next 5 years?
So, I think we all agree that technology will keep on changing. And today, when we talk about AI ecosystem today, it is not fully evolved. It's also going to change. When we talk about coding, the different languages one used to learn to do coding keeps on changing. Today, do you want to take a guess which is the most used language for coding? Can somebody from the audience say which are the top 2 coding languages? Huh? Python, Java. So that's the whole point. It's evolved. Today, English is the coding language. You use ChatGPT to code. That's what. So in sum and substance, what I want to tell you guys is what you are learning today may not be relevant tomorrow. What matters is what is your adaptability to change. That is a single differentiator which is going to change your landscape. Today, each one of you sitting in this, like I was saying, have access to ChatGPT. What's happening in the corporate world today, when we are sitting in a meeting room, each one of us sitting in the meeting room has access to ChatGPT. The guy who is asking the question, he's asking the question from ChatGPT, and the guy who's answering is also answering from ChatGPT. So what does it differentiate? So the single thing is how Jogendra said, how can you interpret the data? So some of the key skills which is going to differentiate you among the whole lot here is how are you able to use that technology, how are you able to adapt the change whenever the evolution happens, and how are you able to add your interpersonal skills, the human element on the technology. So the skill sets, if you were to talk about how are you able to imbibe your judgment skills, how are you able to imbibe your emotional intelligence, these are some of the skills which is going to differentiate, and you will be able to use the AI environment to your advantage. Landscape is going to change, and it is going to change very, very fast. I don't know how many of you have heard the word AI agent. How many can you raise hands? Just a quick poll. How many of you heard the word AI agent? Very less. I think I can only see few hands. So AI agent is nothing but a use case of artificial intelligence to do what a human will do, a repetitive task. You put it very simple terms. Now AI agent came in. AI agent will take away all the routine tasks which somebody like a CPA qualified resource needs to do in future. But does it mean like how Akash was saying, don't we need CPAs for future? We would still need. What you guys are going to do, you are going to use AI, you are going to use your emotional intelligence, your leadership, your judgment to operate and interpret the results with that AI agent going to operate. So the landscape is far, far ahead. The landscape is fast changing, but one need to be confident that yes, there is future for everybody, only if you believe in yourself.
Thank you so much, Amit, for your insights. And it's quite awakening that still the awareness about agent is not there. So if it's not there, then I think I would like to ask, move the conversation with Soma, that if you are made to redesign the curriculum here tonight for AI era, what one thing which you will add and one thing you will stop the university to spend time on?
That's a great question. I think I'll start with what we're trying to summarize here, right? Like all of us are saying, A is here, what will it change? So I'll just give one analogy, that A is like a genie we found in the lamp. What you ask the genie will make the difference, right? It has all the power in the world. What will you ask? Is the right prompt. Like Joginder sir is saying, how will you define your problem to that genie? How will you get the results out of it? So that's the intention for everybody. But when I come to curriculum, right? So I'll take a step back, saying that what we should design our curriculum, how you should consider AI to be part of it. First of all, once graduates go to the corporate life, right? So you will have your first year coaching, your trainings and all this, you hit the ground, you get your job role defined. So after that, everybody gets this goal sheet. So in a corporate world, every year you will have a goal set up for yourself, that in your role, this is what you're going to do, right? But our curriculum should include those goals as your curriculum, right? What you're studying and what you're going to do in your next year as a job should not be any gap, right? So get your, let's say somebody is specializing in finance, audit, assurance. So get the goal sheet as a first year associate, what you're going to do there. Include that in the curriculum. And how will AI help in this, right? Because there's a lot of knowledge gap between what the curriculum needs and the goals as a first year associate you're going to have. So use AI to build those kind of skill sets which you exactly want to target, right? Now, ask the genie saying that, or figure out the right genie for you. Let's say you're going to finance, you need to figure out the right AI model, like Joginder sir and others are saying that there are tons of models. So include the right AI model in your curriculum. It could be how to use that interface, how to define your problems. All this should be included part of your curriculum. Another example I want to give you is that, let's say everybody gets into these services, right? Finance, accounting, auditing, everything. What are they going to do? They are going to serve their end users, right? Let's say there's a company, you're auditing it or doing an accounting for it. So what the end user needs? You need to get those end user needs and include that in your curriculum, because ultimately you're trying to, because when I was a graduate, when I was a BCom student, I don't know why I'm building a trial balance to balance sheet, right? I don't know the need for it. But when I was able to link it to the end user requirement, so saying that, oh, this is a financial statement I'm building for this company. So when the end users, like the investors, want to read it, what will they understand from it? So that's the purpose of whole things, right? So include the end user goals. Talk to the end users. Say that, okay, what do you want out of your finance professionals? Include those problem statements as your curriculum. And again, where does AI come into it? So when you're trying to use AI to build a curriculum, include the right models again. I would repeat that again. Include the right problem statements. Train our students in that phase itself, saying that what is the basic skill set, how to build the trial balance to the financial statement, and also how to improve the process using the right prompts. You should know both the things, like skill set with just AI knowledge is not useful. So understand the skill set first, and also figure out the right prompts, right skill set to build the right AI model for yourself. Like you're talking about AI agent, right? AI agent is nothing but use the right model, have the right plan, train that agent for n number of iterations. So how to train that? When you know that, how do you prepare a certain set of financials and then train your own agent, then you're solving the problems not only for you in the curriculum level, at the graduation level, but also when you go into the corporate life, because you're being prepped for that.
Great. Thank you so much, Soma, for your insights and taking forward, and it's a very relevant question for our student friends here, for Arun. With AI increasingly being used in accounting, finance, audit, consulting, and business decision making, how important you think they can mix with the professional qualification like CA, CPA, EA, CMA in the future? and how students can combine this qualification with AI skills to stand out of the audience?
I think it's a fantastic question, and I would say probably one of the most relevant questions here today. So just wanted to check with this group. How many of you are really afraid that AI will, impact some way your potential to get jobs and stuff like that? How many of you have some worry from your students? All of you are 100% confident that you will get placed?
They are confident about the university that it will get them placed.
We were just, before we came here, we were talking, 2/3, and I can quote probably, sir, with your permission. So yes, he has said yes. So I will quote. He said 2/3 of the earth is covered by water, and the rest is covered by LPU. So if we go with that, we all will get placed. But how do you get placed? Let me give you some, figures just to bring things to perspective. Most of the people here, and we are talking about finance and, job in, MNCs and stuff like that. Do you know how many global centers are there in India? How many companies are there? Any guesses? It's over 2,000 if you are not aware, and you can chat GP it or Google it, it will give you. So it's about close to 1,900, and the number keeps increasing every day. It's close to 2,000, and it's employing as of today more than 2 million people. So what do you look at, right? AI will definitely, we talked about what all it can automate and stuff like that. But in that context, I would say having a professional qualification is actually the need of the hour. It will make you more competent and more eligible to secure a job. Why? We all talked about that it can automate routine jobs, but it cannot automate the professional skepticism that gets built in, right? That's one of fundamental. It can't replace the human skills. And some of these professional qualifications actually help you to do that, right? Another thing, while we were just coming on the way back, Shripal sir was on my, we were in the same car, and we were talking about how do you do it, right? You will say, I'm busy, right? But all of you, this is the best probably time for you to pick up a professional qualification and equip yourself for the right job, right? And these do not take that much time. We were talking about how long does it take for somebody to, get professionally qualified. Surprisingly, it's not that difficult. All you need is the right guidance, right approach, and the right focus. I think sir in his introductory speech actually talked about, wanted to call on, the time we spend on reels. Just put the time you spend on reels into productive, reading of some of these professional courses. You will see at the end of your graduation, you are already a professional. So, or, immediately after graduation, you will get to there. So I think it's very, very important that this is the right time for them to equip themselves with a professional qualification, so that they are more than equipped for, the corporate life, and they are better equipped even to grow in the professional life. Just one other thing I think I do want to call out is that if you are aiming on some of these MNCs, these professional qualifications actually have a edge, because even for growth within that, sometimes you would need to professionally qualify yourself with some of these educations. So it would actually help.
Great. Thank you so much for your insights. And last but not the least, to Nisha. We are into a beautiful campus, and let me take you to your college memories. So if you have just 60 seconds, not literally 60 seconds, to advise every student in the room, one skill, one habit or mindset they need to develop to remain relevant and successful in an AI-driven environment.
Thank you, Rajesh, for the question. And I think I really appreciate the question, because this question was relevant 2 decades back during my college days and still relevant. So if I have to give one advice, it would be to build a habit of continuous learning and to connect it to solve real-world problems. And when I say continuous learning, I do not mean that you need to know it all. But what I mean is that, you pick a direction, you learn about it, and then you go beyond the surface. Know the fundamentals, know how things work, and most importantly, you have to learn to apply your learnings to solve a problem in hand. That's what will give you the depth, the judgment, the credibility for yourself. And a lot have been spoken about AI. So in today's world, we know that information as well as average output is becoming increasingly accessible through AI tools as well as cheap. So what will make you stand out is your domain expertise. And I think Joginder sir already called out how important is domain knowledge. Using AI tools very smartly, and most importantly, you need to demonstrate the value you create, the impact which you can create using your subject matter expertise. So to sum up, my advice would be simply choose a direction, keep learning, keep applying, and you need to have the ability to demonstrate the value you create. And if you build this habit right now in your career, irrespective of how the technology moves or workspace evolves, you will be relevant. So that's I hope I still adhere to somewhat the 60 seconds.
It's for the students to decide. I'm just a moderator. But thank you so much for your insight and all the esteemed panelists for your thoughts. And to sum up, in a very layman's language, I would like to say, when students come to me, will be jobs at risk. So Bangalore recently have adopted AI for traffic signals to manage traffic. And trust me, the day it will be able to manage Bangalore traffic, then really our jobs are in a threat. Till then, our jobs are safe.
Thank you so much, and I request our esteemed panelists to please be seated away, as we'll be taking 2 audience questions. And I request anyone who has any question can raise their hand from their seat, and our coordinator will be coming over there with a mic. Okay, so I can see a coordinator over there. I request the coordinator to please bring the mic to the student.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Purva Thakur, and I am currently pursuing second year in BTech CSE, specialized in AI and data engineering in collaboration with FutureEns. So we have been talking about AI, and since my course is also an AI and data engineering course. But me as a student wanted to know what the companies expect from me, that what are the criteria I'll be evaluated on. Since we are carrying the same degrees, we are learning mostly the same things. What other criteria differentiate me from my course mates to join into a good or a very good company?
I think Akash have provided insights, and he can add additional thoughts on this.
Okay, I'll try, but see, first of all, it's always a tough decision for an interviewer, right? So do not think that because somebody didn't get selected or something, that's the reason is because he is less qualified or something. It's not upon that, right? And frankly speaking, for an interviewer to judge somebody in that 2 or 5 minutes or 10 minutes of interview is not gonna make 100% right decision also, right? Let me tell you that. But coming back to the practical answer, right? That's something absolutely possible, right? And that's where I say, right? So today's question will not be about, okay, can you tell me the formula of an Excel, right? Or can you tell me a formula, let's say for finance or a ratio or something, right? The questions would be about how do you interpret something, right? If I ask you, okay, what is leveraging ratio, right? What is my capital ratio? I don't want a formula for you, right? I want what does it really mean for a company to understand, analytically call about and say what is the decision somebody can take about it from it, right? I don't need a formula from you. I know you already know a formula, or you will use AI to give me a formula and that will help you, right? I need you to tell me how is that formula gonna help me as a decision maker to make a decision, right? And that is what is more important, how it will make you differentiate, right? Try to put business logics and not the technical logics, right? Those business logics is what will gonna make you stand out a difference from rest of the world, is what I would say.
Thank you so much, Akash. I hope it addresses your question.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. And now we'll be moving to our next question. I request any student who has any question. Okay, I can see a hand over there.
Good afternoon, sir. Myself, Soeb Shakil, and I'm pursuing BTech in Computer Science and Engineering. So my question is, as everyone is talking about AI, right? And we know AI is doing many tasks. So, sir, as there are a lot of freshers over here, so how do you think AI will reduce the opportunities for freshers, or it will generate new kind of opportunities for them?
Maybe I'll just take
Joginder
up,
sir,
you
yeah.
know,
I
maybe,
was about to come to you on this question, so thank you so much for volunteering.
So there is a research by McKinsey, you know, especially on this topic, and that talks about AI will add $4 trillion of new opportunities in next 3 years. Next 3 years, right? As students, as human beings, as people, one thing we should just take out of our minds completely: you should not fear. You know, some time ago, a few months ago, Lieutenant Colonel KGS Dhillon, you know, came to meet with us, and then he was talking about it. He said he had written a beautiful book. Say, "Bade Gaji aaye, bade Gaji gaye." You know, it's a beautiful book you should read. You are not to be afraid of the new technology, any new technology that comes. And I'm saying that, you know, after I've seen multiple technologies come and go, and they improve. So they improve you as a person, they improve your judgment power, they improve your wisdom, provided you use them as a tool. You learn from them. You actually increase your judgment power, as I said, right? And I'd given that formula. You know, if you keep applying that formula, you would definitely make sure that this is not, it might eliminate some jobs. You know, as you know, we were talking about the low-level jobs. But I say, this is an opportunity for you. When I started, one of my first jobs was to make totals. And in fact, you know, you were talking of calculators. I didn't even have calculators at that point in time. You know, I started. So I used to do it by hand. But what it was doing is, it created, you know, my ability to do mental maths. So try and not to be afraid of the technology, be excited about it, use this as a tool. And as I said, you try and understand what is the problem that you're really looking to solve. If you can keep your focus on that, use your wisdom, absolutely, there's no need at all to worry about it. Some opportunities, as we see today, will go for sure. But a lot more new opportunities will come. And you have to be excited about those new opportunities which will come. And you'll have to tackle about it.
Might be just to add on, Rajesh, I'll just say. How many of you guys use laptop?
All of
Everyone,
them.
right? Internet, right? Back in 1990s, when, or 80s, early 80s or 90s, when computers started coming in, it was the same question, right? Will computer replace the humans? Did it really replace, right? Then after that, when the internet came in, right? Internet started evolving. Did internet really replace the way we work? Sorry. Did it replace the humans? It changed the way we work, right? So going back to Joginder sir, what he was saying, you need to adapt to the new learning, right? You need to make AI as part of your world or as part of your day-to-day job. It's not going to replace humans, right? Computers never replaced humans. Internet never replaced humans. They just adapted and they enabled you to do a better things in a better way, right? And that's what AI is going to do. It's going to enable you to do things more efficiently, betterly, but with your guidance at all, right? And that's what I just want to add into that.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Akash.
and just to sum it up, right, our human brains are wired and made to do non-repetitive tasks, to think and to create and think and innovate, right? That's how our human brains are wired, and not to do just repetitive tasks all our life, right? So it's a good thing that if AI is taking away the repetitive task, it's good.
So, to summarize, the panelists sitting here have transformed from typewriters to AI. So probably this amount of change will not be there in your life, we hope. I'm sure they have seen telephone directories to total, to develop a memory and habit to calculate. So I don't think those challenges will be there in your life. You would all will be doing better works. So a big thanks to all the panelists and looking forward for a personal interaction during the lunch break. Thank you so much.
Thank you to the moderator and thank you to all the distinguished panelists for that extremely insightful conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have another round of applause for the panel?
And with this, I request our esteemed panelists to please take their seats downstage as we move forward with the next panel of the day today.
Before moving forward to the next panel discussion, ladies and gentlemen, let me take you towards Witness an AV, which tells you about how professional education or a degree helps you plan your career. So let's get into the montage. I request the technical team to kindly present the AV video.
Congrats on graduating. Now what? Lakhs of students graduate with a BCom every year in India, and many face the same question next. CA, CPA, CMA, MBA, a first job, or something else. A degree gets you started, but if you want to build toward a career in the Big Four, GCC, or global finance roles, a CPA or CMA can help you build a stronger, more career-ready profile. Don't let graduation be the finish line. Let it be your launch pad. With Becker-backed exam preparation and Samandar's India-focused guidance, your journey can start with more clarity. Talk to us today.
Thank you so much. And now it's the time to move towards our second panel discussion of the day, that is from campus to global careers and what recruiters actually look for in the students. A degree is an important foundation, but in today's global and rapidly changing employment environment, students are increasingly asking, what makes someone employable? What makes a recruiter notice a candidate? Do global professional qualifications make a difference? And what skills help an Indian professional compete for opportunities globally and internationally? And so on this basis only, we'll be having our next panel discussion, that is from campus to global careers. And to lead this conversation, may I invite our moderator onto the stage, Shri Shripal Jain, co-founder, Simandar Education and CA US CPA. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a huge round of applause for the moderator of our day today? And with this, now moving forward, may I also invite our distinguished panelists of the day today onto the stage, Shri Manendra Poddar, Director, PwC Acceleration Centers in India. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a huge round of applause for Shri Manendra Poddar? And next up, I would like to invite Shri Rajat Gupta, Executive Director and Audit Practice Leader, Grant Thornton, Indus. And next up, I would like to invite Shri Nishant Mohta, Director Finance, Invesco. Next, I would like to invite Shri Sumit Agarwal, Partner, PKF O'Connor Davies. Now, I would like to invite Shri Karan Batra, Vice President from Barclays. Ms. Richa Chopra, Financial Services or Fortune 500 Bank Representative. Shri Akash Sehgal, Associate Director, Grant Thornton, Indus. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome them with a huge round of applause. And now I request Shri Shripal Jain ji to kindly take over the panel discussion. And I request our panelists to please take their seats.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm still not able to hear anything. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay. Energy is one thing which cannot be automated by AI. Have to be extremely energetic in this entire panel. I'll not be using any of the scripts and all because there are a lot of questions which have been asked. So I'll be as natural as possible to you all. right? So my first question comes to Maninder itself. Okay, so you probably see thousands of qualified candidates. When you meet a fresh grad, what makes you think within the first few minutes, I would hire this person?
Thanks for the question. Yeah. Thanks, Shripal, for this question. And what I just recollected, 3 years back, you asked me the same question in another panel discussion. So my answer would be very consistent with what I talked about last time. So before I talk about what I would expect or what I would look at it to hire them, I think let me do a big myth buster here. We understand you're all graduates, and as an interview panel, we do not expect you to know everything. So get that myth out of your mind if you think that we expect you to answer every question. What rather I would look at it is something which I think Shripal just started the session with. We need a lot of energy, we need a lot of enthusiasm. When you are coming into for an interview, we would like to see that energy coming into this. You should be energized while coming into the session. You should be willing to build a career with us rather than just coming into a interview just for the sake of doing it. It's not just a job, it's a career. The second most important thing I'll say is the communication. How you are articulating yourself, how you are able to get across your more technical topics or maybe more complex situations, how you are able to articulate down the line and is able to connect with the interviewer, because that makes a lot of positive vibe. I mean, in the Gen Z's lingo, it's a vibe that you need to connect with. That is very important, because if you are not on the same page of what is your perspective or how you are able to connect or how you are able to articulate, you know, it's going to really start going down the hill. The other couple of aspects is, in your discussions, you need to demonstrate how curious you are, how ready to learn. Like I said, we don't expect you to know everything. What we want to hear from you is to understand if there are things that, there might be situations where you didn't know something. And we are interested to understand how you got that answer or how did you troubleshoot through that situation. You know, honesty is very important, to acknowledge that you don't know. That's absolutely fine. And how you are going to take that as an opportunity to learn, identify, or maybe identify someone who can help you to learn that or troubleshoot that issue or that particular situation. And that also dovetails into the next point that I have, which is how are you able to train yourself? What are the different mechanisms, right? Obviously, ChatGPT or any of the other tools are available, but then how do you use that? Just writing a query does not make you knowledgeable, right? How do you use that information to upscale yourself, build your credentials? How do you help, how take that input to help your skill set? I think that's going to be very important. And probably the fourth, which is going to be very important, is the ownership. Is it like you are here as a team player or an individual player, of how you are going to take the onus and you're going to get that communication across to us that you are here for the long haul. You are not here to pass a buck, just take an instruction. How are you going to get self-motivated to take that input and get to the next level? So those are the couple of things that I would say.
So I'll come to you, Maninder, once, and Rajat sir. So Maninder said that you need to be motivated and take the ownership. Now freshers को salary मिलती है समझो 8 से 10 लाख. So how do you think that they will take ownership? Because see, you as an entrepreneur, you're getting paid more. So you'd love to take the ownership and all. But as a fresher, I'm getting very less pay. So I'm just asking from their perspective that why will they take ownership of their work? What do you think will push them to take ownership, and what pushes you as well? In your days, and you were taking the ownership. So I know you were being paid very less that time, or rather, मेरा तो बहुत ही कम था, आपका तो उससे भी कम था. How did you position this? Because today all the Gen Z, उनको एक दिन में millionaire बनना है, right? So how do you tackle them now?
So I'll tell you the situation when I made CA, right? The perceptions we had. मैंने ना अभी आने से पहले I was just looking at some शेर व शायरी. So there is a very share on certification. and maybe I'll read it out. So, एक second. So, शेर is, हम क्या कहें अहबाब, क्या कारे नुमाया कर गए, बीए हुए, नौकर हुए, पेंशन मिली और मर गए. So, this was our perception of certification. ठीक है? So, honestly telling you, there is a lot of debate going on with respect to why do we need certifications? Should be more of a skill-based selection, experience-based selection. What's there in a mere degree, right? It's all debatable, and it's a healthy discussion that's going on. But just to make you understand of the importance of certification, no, you also need to think from the recruiter's standpoint. So majority of you who are sitting here, I understand are freshers, right? So, and kind of similar kind of experience. So your certification is the only objective benchmark basis which we can screen your CVs, right? Whether you are knowledgeable, whether you have experience, etc., that will come to know only post you join the organization. There is very limited assessment that we can do in a half an hour interview, right? So that's why in order to get the first break or an entry point into the organization, certification is really, really important. Coming to few more things, so this would get you a good entry into the organization, right? But coming to what's there for you in a certification, so I'll tell you, as a recruiter or as leader in an organization, one thing we look for is that in case we are putting in so much effort into that recruitment drive, we want people to stay with the organization for a long time, right? And you having a certification at least gives us some comfort that you are interested in pursuing your career, at least in that profession. Whether you continue with us or not, that depends upon your experience with us and our experience with you. And that would happen only after you join the organization. But at least your certification gives me comfort कि हाँ, in case I invest in this person, इसको CA में या chartered accountancy वाले role में career बनाना है. So that comfort I get from your certification. Coming to the next point, which is a lot of these organizations you see, right, particularly in the GCC space, and this was the discussion we were having in the morning. So we are guided by the policies and the principles of the global organization. And for a lot of such GCCs, now you would find that certification is a mandate. So for example, in my organization, somebody, irrespective of how knowledgeable, how experienced the person is, the poor guy can't make a manager unless the person is a CA, CPA, CCA, the person is certified, right? So when I hire, my inclination is towards hiring somebody certified so that in case the person is performing well, no, I don't see a hurdle in the career path. Otherwise, there are situations where we say कि भाई तू काम तो बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है, सब कुछ है, पर तेरे को manager कैसे बनाऊँ? You are not a certified guy, right? And this is something you would witness across industries. Everybody is governed by some legal regulations, blah, 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 blah. So that is where I would say there is the importance of certification. But again, in the long run, your investment in self-development, experience, learning, etc., that would count more. But certification give you an entry point.
Awesome, sir. I'll come back to you as well. And my immediate question to you is, we are seeing a lot of resumes, right, these days, and people come for the interview and all, especially when we are doing a virtual interview. It happened to be in Samandar that when I was interviewing him, I could easily make out that he was reading it from ChatGPT, and then I said my HR to call him to the office so that I can actually check how he's talking. What do you think? How do you trace out this person? Because their resumes are now completely ChatGPT based because there's a big dash. Whenever you're taking an AI content, there's a big dash which keeps coming in each and every line. So is resumes losing its validity, or how do you see now, in Citibank especially?
Actually, a very relevant question these days since we're in a hiring spree and I've been asking people to send resumes. So I believe resumes are looking alike. We have text in bold, we know how people want or what they want us to see. I would really request everybody to
do not follow the trend, but build your niche. Your resume should reflect the practical knowledge that you have. Define your achievements, as we say, in such a way that it should not look like I got so and so score in XYZ certification. It should implement, I could work on this because I had that certification. If you can tell us the practical translation of what you learned in your university or in your educational institute, that helps us to make an assessment and make an informed decision. Because we can have a glorified CV, but when we meet the people, we go off script. That is my rule. I do not ask the question, okay, so tell me about yourself. That is not my first question. My first question would be, okay, so how are you doing today? What did you do? Because that puts them off the script they have in their mind. I'm sure all of you would think, you know, these are the questions, this is the job description, I need to learn these aspects. Do not focus on what the job description is saying, focus on what you bring to the table. And let us understand what are your capabilities, because we want to invest in you and your career, not the certificate that you come with. And while I have the mic, I do want to, you know, acknowledge and appreciate the fact that a lot of students are here on a Saturday afternoon. I hope you get like maybe 1 or 2% of insights from all of us. We want to hire you. We are willing to hire you. We want you guys to come join our organizations, build your careers with us. So do not have any fear. Take the risk.
Richa, so when I gave my interview for Infosys, so actually I wrote in my resume that I've done mimicry of certain actors and all, because my voice, I keep modulating every now and then. And to my disbelief, they didn't ask a single technical question. They actually asked me to do mimicry of Raghu in Roadies, right? And I happened to do that, and I got selected in Infosys, not for my technical questions, but for my skill sets, right? How important it is to write things in resume, and as a recruiter, how much weightage you give to what points they add in the resume. Do you actually go through that? Because I've seen that with Infi, but how with banking services are like Citibank and Barclays, and I'll just come to Barclays as well. But in City Richa, how do you see that resumes are, is it important to put all those those crucial things or not?
Not really. I feel there is always an element of surprise. Sometimes even the candidate would not know what we would ask. They should have that strong backing of whatever they're putting in their CVs. If they're writing, I know Tableau, they should at least know there's a web service or there's an application. Are you certified? What does the certification entails? I would say, even one of the discussion, we were interviewing a candidate and he said, I'm a biker. And literally the 15 minutes of those interview out of 30 was about, which was your last trip? What did you learn in that trip? Because we want to have faith and confidence in what you're putting up in that piece of paper or that PDF sheet. So our focus is to see how much the curiosity is playing in people's brain, how much they want to learn, not just to get a role, but what is their willingness to actually come in and not stick to one direction, but also spread your wings, see what all they can discover through a channel. And banking is a brilliant sector. We are exposed to different segments. We can work in regulatory part, we can work in audit, we can work as an investment banker. So in my opinion, it is not a requirement to put everything on the CV. Make it crisp, make it relevant, and make sure whatever words you have in the CV, you should have a strong backing and you should be able to explain it to us.
So I'll come to you later. So I just want to add the same question. So resume का size कितना रहना चाहिए? 2 pager, 3 pager या 4 pager?
The more crisp you can keep it, I think the more better it is. 1 pager will always be helpful if you can read everything over there. That's how at least I perceive it. And I think as Richa also mentioned, make it as relevant as you want to be. Don't try to align it with the job description, with most of us have been doing it since past, that let's just put what job description is looking for. We already know it. But I think from an interview perspective, it is very important what you are good at. And if you are able to relay and reflect that out in the interview discussion, that's where I think you have an extra edge to get through the next level.
So are you the recruiter who actually goes through the resume and जहाँ पे मैंने लिख दिया है expert in Excel, Power BI, Tableau, and you actually identify that and ask them that question? So is it recommended to write such things, expert in Power BI, Tableau, Excel? and then you try to diagnose them.
No, I don't think so. I think a lot of it practically does not happen onto the ground, right? And as I think Akash was also mentioning it in the earlier scenario, not everything can be judged into that 30, 45 minutes kind of a conversation. It is very important on what kind of energy you are bringing up, what kind of a willingness is reflective out of the stuff that you are trying to explain it. And of course, what sort of different scenarios you are getting involved into for us to take that comfort that what kind of a punt we are trying to make it. See, as a fresher, I think it's largely a punt that organizations are taking, and as everybody is mentioning, the first filler is the certification that you come across with. But I think large part of it when it comes through on the job thing, it is what you bring over and above from that, and that becomes the loyalty kind of a things. First, second is what have you done? You are able to reflect it very clearly. You're closer to the thoughts, what you are writing it out in your CVs. And of course, it's always absolutely okay to say no on the things when you don't know anything. Be very, very transparently saying that I don't know and I'm not aware about this concept.
So authenticity is the most important skill set which you guys check.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nishant, there are a lot of people from non-accounting background today, apart from the accounting background. Do you see the roles getting switched now that technology people will do CPA, CMA, EAs or accountancy related work, and the accounting people should learn technology, so the roles are getting switched from technology to accounting and accounting to technology? And I am a person, say for an example, I learn both, techno-functional, right? Which is having the higher value? Is it techno-functional? Is it pure technology? Is it pure finance? What do you think will evolve in next 20 years?
So I think this is a very important question in the sense that we are working in a company for the growth of the company, not just for a particular function. I mean, if you look from a bigger perspective, I mean, unless I'm a technology company, I mean, for me, technology is the enabler. Finance is the enabler. If I'm a finance company, of course, finance is my bread and butter, then other things are enabler. So basically what depends upon is what you are doing as a company and how you are going to contribute to the success of the company. I mean, every company will hire you to, take your services and make more money out of it. I mean, that is the ultimate goal. I mean, at lower level, you may not be able to understand how it is happening, but finally it is all that points out to that how I am going to utilize my resource to maximize, my output. Now when it comes, so if you are helping in a business line which require, suppose I am a finance guy, I have to contribute towards finance, but if I use technology to make it more comprehensive, make it more impactful, company will value me. So like, for example, if I'm an HR person and I'm able to use intelligence which is available on, say, for example, on, professional media, social media, use of AI, and try to evaluate a person better and give a better insight to a interviewer that this person is coming, this is the background, it will help me to assess the person better and take the, judge whether the person can be hired or not hired. So how it is happening? Because HR is not just giving me a resume and say, hey, you go ahead and interview and, select the candidate. They're giving me that important insight by use of various other domain which is not core part of their role. So same thing happens like in finance. Like for example, if I'm an accounting person and if I use, either Power BI, Tableau or Chat GPT or any other tool to make my work more accurate, more efficient, more faster, people will love me. So it is not about multi-dimensional. Yeah, you have to be expert in one area, but then you have to keep evolving yourself and learn different areas to make sure that you are more valuable to the
So
organization.
are you telling Nishant that now it will be multidisciplinary? Like for an example, I'm an HR. Why should I learn finance? I mean, why should I attend this summit as well if I'm not from the accounting background? But will these conversations undergo a change in next 10 years that HRs also should know business? HRs also should know finance, because everyone is trying to optimize the cost. So if you don't understand the jargon of finance, I don't think so you can survive. Is that the statement? Are we trying to communicate?
Yes, in a way, and I will tell you, I mean, and many organizations also may be following what we are following. In fact, we have specialized HR for hiring specialized roles. Like for hiring AI or high-end, technologies, we have HR personnel who hire only those type of people. Then we have finance specialized, etc., etc. Because they understand what business need. What is the basic, checks I need to do. So the rejection ratio goes down. Like if they just give me by reading and matching with the job description, as you said, people most of the time put the wrong job, what is there in the resume versus to match it to the job description. In that scenario, what happens normally is the resume will come while I start interviewing the people, I will reject, 8 out of 10 people, right? But if the right type of people come by the good initial screening by HR, it makes my life much easier. HR knows my language, I know HR language, I know that they have done the basic check, then I can focus in that 20-30 minutes on the core area for which I want to hire a person. Rather than saying that, hey, this person, there's a gap of 1 year, this person has not done anything on the BFSI sector, how you have selected this person. So that becomes, those things goes out of the way. And this applies to across all, not only on HR, same thing. If I am talking as a finance head, if I am talking to my business person, he will like to know how I can maximize profit, how I can reduce wastage, how I can, make sure that my, operating margin goes up. If I don't speak that language, I say, no sir, this accounting will happen only like this, he will not get any help from me. So that is the whole point. I mean, you need to be multidimensional.
So are we talking about the same thing about the ownership that HR अब फाइनेंस भी करेगा, टेक्नोलॉजी के बंदे फाइनेंस भी करेंगे, या फाइनेंस को शायद HR का काम करना पड़े. So it is taking more ownership related function because we are grooming them to the CEO and they should be completely flexible to work in any of the job related functions.
So first sentence itself need to be changed. So when you think, I am HR, I will do HR work, I am finance, I will do finance work, we should not think like that. We should think we are an employee of the company and working for the company.
Okay.
So if that mindset need to change. If I only think, okay, my HR role है, why I should go and look into this aspect, वो technology वाले देख लेंगे या finance वाले देख लेंगे, it will not solve your problem. You are working as an employee of the company. Like for example, if you hire a house help, the core role may be cooking, but sometimes you expect them to, give some ideas, some advisory, okay, this is not happening well, and that's why you value it. Oh, this person is multidimensional. This happens across all fields, right? If you are driving and you have a driver whose role is just to drive, but he guide, no sir, you go there, you see this place, you see that place, you can save time like that. You will value. So it's happen in anything which you do. If you provide more than what your domain asks for, you will be valued at every level.
But मैं क्यों करूँ? मतलब मेरे को आपने HR के लिए लिया है. So why do you expect me to do other functions? So is it because you're seeing me and grooming me as a leader and that's where you want me to get groomed too, or is it something like extracting a lot of work? Because Gen Z has a problem mindset कि यार एक काम बोल के चार काम करवा रहे हो. But as from your perspective, when I am talking to you, you think that we are grooming them like a leadership because they learn 10 things in that organization and then they are growing.
Absolutely. See, as I think, it was spoken earlier that we are hiring people for their future. It was said that if you're certified, I know I'm hiring and investing in you, you'll make a better person, right? So it not only applies for certification, it applies for your multidimensional skills, it applies for your mindset, leadership skill and all. So when we hire a person, it is not just for a role or, we want that person to be there with us forever or as long as possible. So that is the most important facet where we want to invest in people who are more multidimensional, who are more open and who are more taking responsibility and ownership.
And when you talk about responsibility, ownership, that means they should add value to that. It's not just picking up the work, but what value you bring to your table. I think that is very, very important for us. Right?
More than that mindset, Sripal, at times people may fail also, but as long as you are doing with the right intent, all the time results are not always seen. As long as you are doing, something which is out of way, even if you fail, you get a lot of support. So ownership doesn't mean always you have to be successful and you do everything right and add value. Sometimes it can be devalue also, but if intent is right and the mindset is right, I think people...
So I think this is a part to get promoted, folks, that you take more ownership and do more work. More work doesn't mean that you will be paid less. More work means you will learn more and you'll grow more. And I'll come to the question, Sumit, is personal branding. So I have almost 70,000-80,000 followers on LinkedIn. So मैं एक post करता हूँ तो मुझे 50,000 1 लाख रुपए देते हैं ये लोग. So why do you want me to work in companies? I can go on the content creation route, but do you think personal branding is very important for an employee as well? Is it very important that branding and that awareness they should also have? Or do you think that is not important for you when you're interviewing the folks?
See, if I talk about branding, again, a lot of people have spoken about certification. So certification is kind of a branding, self-branding for that particular person, correct? So certification brings about that branding, it gives us a filter, correct, to recruit him or at least make him eligible for the interview, correct? So that kind of personal branding is important. It gives visibility to that particular person. It also gives visibility to the interviewer as well. It talks about what that particular person is capable of.
and sticking to all the points which were brought about. If it gives us visibility about that particular person, the interviewer can focus on those aspects when interviewing.
तो आप लिंक्डइन देखते हो, मतलब ये लोग क्या कर रहे हैं लिंक्डइन पे, कहाँ पे कमेंट कर रहे हैं, व्हाट इज देयर माइंडसेट एंड ऑल. डू यू थिंक रिक्रूटर्स नाउअडेज आर शिफ्टिंग फ्रॉम नौकरी एंड ऑल एंड मूविंग टू लिंक्डइन, दैट व्हाट दिस गाइज आर पार्टिसिपेटिंग, व्हिच डिस्कशंस दे आर गेटिंग एंगेज्ड इन? इज दिस समथिंग व्हिच यू आर focused on when you're recruiting them, or how's it like?
To some extent, yes. So lot of our talent acquisition team and HR definitely, when they receive the resumes of individuals, they look at their LinkedIn profile. It gives us visibility about their thought process, okay, their inclination about a particular field. They might be very active about posting subject matter aspects about audit or tax or some other stuff. So it gives us visibility, it gives us direction, it helps us to know the thought process of that individual, whether that particular individual is more interested in having a career in audit or tax or any other field, we might say. So
I'll stop you here, Sumit, for a minute. How many of them have LinkedIn accounts here? Please raise your hands. How many of them are hearing about LinkedIn for the very first time? Please raise your hands. Wow, that's crazy. So there are people who are not even aware about LinkedIn, and it's one of the biggest platform, right? Okay, how many of them who have raised hands for LinkedIn, how many of them are posting consistently every day? Please raise your hands. Every day you're posting consistently and tagging LPU. Please raise your hands. Wow. So I'll come to you, Ankit. Do you think consistency is very important? Because अच्छा आज मेरा मूड है तो मैं आज पढ़ूंगा, मतलब कल मेरा मूड नहीं है तो I'll not study. मतलब आज मेरा मूड है तो मैं पोस्ट करूंगा और कल नहीं है तो नहीं करूंगा. सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक AI के वर्ल्ड में कंसिस्टेंसी की क्या वैल्यू है? मतलब बिकॉज एवरीथिंग वर्क्स विद कंसिस्टेंसी एंड algorithm also rewards you only when you're consistent. But when you're interviewing a student, how do you see that ये बंदा consistent है या नहीं है? मतलब इसको seriousness है भी या नहीं है काम पे? How do you see that?
Yeah, so I think when we talk about consistency or AI, the kind of prompts you're giving, the kind of search results you're doing every day, that changes the output you even get from AI. So consistency when it comes to an employer, somebody I'm looking for a potential recruitment, I would want to see how consistent their efforts have been, how long they have stuck in or continued with that particular field, or is it somebody who's just switching fields or jobs every now and then, or probably has a very short span of time. So of course consistency is the key for across. Like you have been consistent in calling me Ankit. So that is again consistency. But of course, I think consistency when it comes to AI or recruiters or candidates, the utmost foundation.
So you are telling me that consistency और stability दोनों interrelated ही है कि अगर आप stable नहीं हो, so is it a mistake that मतलब मैंने एक कंपनी में 1 साल काम किया, दूसरे कंपनी में वो बंदे ने मुझ पे चिल्लाया तो मैंने वो कंपनी छोड़ दी, और तीसरे कंपनी में मेरे को काम समझ में नहीं आया तो फिर से छोड़ दी. So do you think that this frequent job hoppings will impact your career in the long run, or how do you value that?
So I think to an extent yes, but it depends on why are you switching, why are you leaving. Of course you.
और अगर मैं आपको बोल दूं कि मैंने इसलिए जॉब छोड़ा था क्योंकि वो बंदे ने मुझ पे चिल्लाया था, so will you take it positively or negatively then? I'll be very honest with that I didn't like the way he spoke and that's why I just resigned. Do you think that would be taken positively or not?
Yes, again, it depends on how you're talking, what is the communication skill, because if I feel there was a genuine concern, you stood up for it and probably you felt like this place is not working out for me, it's fine to look out for another opportunity. But if it's a consistent pattern again, that every now you're saying that somebody shouted at me and leaving, then that is a red flag.
But Nishan sir, because he is from the R generation and I'm taking you to your generation, अपने ज़माने में ना लोग चिल्लाते थे तो हम लोग लाइक सुनते थे ऑडिट में एंड ऑल, एंड वी यूज्ड टू थिंक यार अपनी मिस्टेक है एंड वी शुड वर्क ऑन आवर सेल्फ, राइट. एंड अपने करियर में ना एक ऐसा मोमेंट रहता है जब बॉस विल बी वेरी वेरी एंग्री विथ यू एंड यू फील लाइक यार एकदम बेकार कंपनी एंड वी शुड लीव दिस, एंड दैट मोमेंट वी डोंट लीव एंड देन यू आर परमानेंट फॉर नेक्स्ट 10-20 ईयर्स. तो कैसे ये जेंजी को बताए कि जब ऐसे मोमेंट्स आते हैं, यू शुड नॉट लूज योर कूल एंड यू शुड नॉट टेक योर बॉस नेगेटिवली बिकॉज बॉस इज नॉट बीइंग सो. इंडिया इज अ कंट्री, राइट, पीपल टेक टोन ऑफ द फीडबैक, राइट, इट इज टेकन एज अ सुपीरियरिटी देन द सब्सटेंस ऑफ द फीडबैक. अगर बंदा चिल्ला के बात करता है तो आपको समझ नहीं आता है, राइट. सो अपने जनरेशन में और आपके जनरेशन में ऐसा क्यों है? आपके जनरेशन में ऐसा क्या था जो आप उससे एडजस्ट हो गए?
No, so very good point, and I think, it is both ways actually. I mean, and things have changed. Like for example, I mean, first of all, we always read and we are still reading substance over form, right? And that's why, probably in our time we used to say, "Theek hai, boss chilla raha hai," but his intent may not be right. But in today's world, what has happened is, from the beginning, like even in schools and all, teachers are not allowed to shout, not allowed to, slap you or whatever. In our time, parents will say, okay, isko do jhapad lagai, ye sun raha nahi hai, right? So those things have changed, frankly speaking. So it is both ways. I mean, we have to, just because we are managers, we are leaders, doesn't mean that we can disrespect them. Yeah, we have to shout when they are doing mistake, but we should not lose the dignity of our word or voice. So it is both ways. I've seen people who has been very disrespectful for their team. They used to call how we are working like a clerk and all those things. So it is both ways. I mean, we have to, just because we have heard those languages from the people above us, I mean, we should
Sorry
not...
to interrupt you, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, with a huge round of applause, please extend a heartiest welcome to the chief guest of the day, Dr. Colonel Rashmi Mittal, worthy Pro-Chancellor, lovely professional university. Ma'am, it's our honor to host you over here today. And with this, I request Dr. Saurabh Lakhanpal, accompanied by Mr. Shripal Jain, co-founder of Simandar Education, to please come forward and extend a floral welcome to the chief guest of the day today, Dr. Colonel Rashmi Mittal, worthy Pro-Chancellor, lovely professional university. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the chief guest of the day.
Wait, please.
So much, ma'am. And ma'am, I would like to share with you that Academia Industry AI Leadership Summit 2026 has been progressing with some highly insightful conversations right now. And we began with a panel discussion on AI and future career, whether that is a threat or an opportunity, exploring how AI is transforming the future for the students. And now we are witnessing our second panel of the day, that is from campus to global careers, what recruiters are actually looking for in the students, where our esteemed jury panelists, including Shri Shripal Jain, who is the co-founder of Simandar and a CA US CPA, Shri Maninder Poddar, Director PwC Acceleration Centers in India, Shri Rajat Gupta, Executive Director and Audit Practice Leader from Grant Thornton Indus, Shri Nishant Mohta, Director Finance Invesco, Shri Sumit Agarwal, Partner at PKF O'Connor Davies, Shri Karan Batra, Vice President from Barclays, Ms. Richa Chopra, Financial Services or Fortune 500 Bank Representative, and Shri Akash Sehgal, Associate Director from Grant Thornton Indus are here in the panel, and we are having a discussion right now. And with your permission, if you allow, can we please continue? I request sir to please continue the panel.
Yeah, so I think we were in the way how Gen Z versus millennials are, right? And how they take the feedback, positively or negative. And feedback का भी एक तरीका होता है. And like you said, it has to be with dignity, else the talent doesn't respect that. So leadership के ऐसे क्या skill set आप देखते हो जब आप hire करते हो कि यार ये बंदा एक आगे जाके बहुत अच्छा leader बनेगा. What do you think?
So first thing is the body language or mindset itself. People should not come with a mindset that, hey, I am a topper, I am a ranker and I have got it. I mean, it's like cricket. You start every day with a new inning. You might have made 200, 300 earlier day, it doesn't matter. You are coming here, you are again proving your experience, So that is the first thing, how you speak, how you handle yourself, what is your body language. You should not say, oh, I mean, I will get it or I don't care. So that is one. And secondly, sometime interviewer will put you in a difficult situation, right? How that is the biggest thing, which at least I judge that how those persons are reacting the crisis situation, things which went off course. I mean, I think Ritu was speaking about, going off script. I mean, they should not feel irritated. They should not feel that, okay, I have come here to hired as a chartered accountant, why they're asking me about biking or whatever. I mean, because life will not give you the right questions always. You have to somehow discover the questions and how comfortable you are in those off-script things and, handling yourself. And finally, if you don't know anything, just don't make it up. Just say, okay, I don't know, sorry, I have not read it or I have forgot it. I think those honesty really, if you really are looking for hiring a leader, I normally look at those type of qualities in my leader.
Okay, so Maninder, I'll come to you now. 90% of jobs इंडिया में इसलिए नहीं मिलते एक्चुअली वो अवेलेबल है बट वो मिलते इसलिए नहीं है क्योंकि मुझे वही प्रोफाइल चाहिए या मुझे चंडीगढ़ में ही काम करना है लाइक वन इज़ लोकेशन वन इज़ द प्रोफाइल हाउ डू यू कन्विंस और टेल टू द स्टूडेंट्स कि यार घर पे बैठ के कोई अमीर नहीं बन सकता यू नीड टू रियली गो आउट ट्रैवल एंड गेट दैट एक्सपोजर और वर्सेस अ पर्सन नहीं मुझे मेरी फैमिली के साथ ही रहना है आई नीड टू कंट्रीब्यूट एंड आई नीड टू बी देयर सो हाउ डू वी बैलेंस हाउ डू वी स्ट्राइक अ बैलेंस देयर कि भाई दिस इज़ नॉट समथिंग which we can do but then at the cost of losing your job so this has become a very big problem in most of the Gen Zs now.
Yeah, I think that's a very relevant situation for everyone. I think what is very important right now is for the individual to first focus and be very clear on what he or she wants to get out of his career. Right. That is the most important thing. Once you know what your goal is, what is it that you want to achieve, then you pursue the opportunities that comes your way. I mean, I can probably correlate to this exact question very personally because couple of months back, my nephew was in dilemma. Should I be taking a job in Bombay or Hyderabad? Though I don't have anyone in Hyderabad. And it's like, how does it matter? Anyways, you're not going to get staying with anyone of your relatives or with your parents. So how does it matter to you? Be it Bombay, be it Hyderabad, be it Delhi. If you have an opportunity, the right opportunity, if that makes sense to you, and that is your career goal, then please pursue that for initial years of your career. That is more important to learn. And if you are getting an opportunity from the best in the business, I don't think there's even a question that you should be even thinking. The rest of it, we can always work around, we can always get arrangements done, or we can always find out different ways and means to achieve it. But primary is your career and your goal. I think you need to be very clear on that aspect. I personally have been, substantial portion of my career is outside of my home.
But you're still staying in Kolkata though?
I just returned back couple of years back.
Cool.
So I would like to add, resonate to what Manish said. So you should always consider the first few years of your career as an investment. Rather than thinking about, I wanted 10 lakh package, I wanted 20 lakh package. You should concentrate on upskilling yourself, learning the grassroots, learning the foundation. You should always think the first few years as an additional investment.
But sir, वो survive कैसे करेंगे? आप बोल रहे हो कि पैसे 10 लाख 20 lakhs मत देखो. But when I'm going to Hyderabad और फॉर एन एग्जाम्पल बैंगलोर और मुंबई जहाँ पे खर्चे बहुत ज़्यादा है इवन अगर मुझे रेंट पे भी कोई चीज़ लेने हैं लाइक इफ़ आई इवन वांट टू गेट इनटू अ रेंटल प्रेमाइसेस स्टिल द रेंट्स आर एट स्काई हाई सो देयर हैज़ टू बी सम ट्रेड ऑफ बिटवीन the ROIs, right?
So I would like to say that the salaries being offered right now in the market are already inflated, adjusted, correct? So I'm not saying you might not be able to save a lot of money in the initial years, but at least you will get enough money to stay.
That years are more for learning and growing yourself.
Exactly. They should concentrate more on upskilling themselves and learning the nitty-gritties of the job.
So Rajat, you were there in Delhi, right? And you were from, you were working in KPMG and then you moved completely from Delhi to Bangalore. मतलब ये डिसीजन आपने कैसे ले लिया और कैसे बच्चों को भी ऐसे इंस्टेंट डिसीजन लेने नहीं चाहिए जैसे भगवान श्री राम थे राइट उनको बना रहे थे हम राजा नेक्स्ट दिन और वो चले गए सीधे वनवास राइट सो दैट काइंड ऑफ विवेक जो आता है राइट दैट काइंड ऑफ कि यार यू शुड बी रेडी फॉर एनी ऑफ द अपॉर्चुनिटीज विच इट कम्स इट हैव हैपेंड इन योर करियर सो व्हाट डू यू वांट टू शेयर विद द स्टूडेंट्स नाउ
सो आई विल शेयर अ वेरी नाइस कोट which gets used in corporate, right, a lot. Too much analysis causes paralysis, right? एक बारी कोई role जम गया and you see there that you will be able to make your career out of it, go for it, take that leap. बहुत ज़्यादा सोचते रहोगे ना कि इधर जाऊँ उधर जाऊँ तो कहीं नहीं जा पाओगे. Believe in your destiny and take the leap and you will be able to do it.
Again,
so that's what I did.
I would also like to add a quote kind of thing. Don't think about building your career which is limited by geography. Think about building your career which is defined by your capability. So, please think about it. Think about upskilling yourself. Think about your capabilities, what you can do. don't be paranoid about, living alone, leaving your hometown, living alone. Everybody has done that, and that is part and parcel of your corporate life and your career.
Awesome. You were wanted to add something, yeah.
Just add one point. I mean, initial, as I think already spoken, but just to reiterate, initial years of your career is just extension of your education. You are coming here, staying in LPU, right, away from your family, and you are learning something, making yourself better. Same thing happens in the first 3-4 years of your corporate life. I mean, just think that this is just because what you have learned in your campus will help you, but it will not exactly match what is required by the corporate. So you have to give that investment to learn yourself, and then you can go wherever you want once you are capable of working that way.
Okay, I think this was a great skill set which we were discussing, folks, was on flexibility. Now we'll be talking about attention. Right? It's the most scarce commodity on this planet currently. इनका अटेंशन स्पैन है 4 सेकंड, दैट्स ऑल. इंस्टाग्राम पे ये लोग, अगर आपने इनको 3 सेकंड में इंप्रेस कर दिया तो यू आर डन एंड डस्टेड, राइट. बट नाउ इन द कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड ऑल्सो, जैसे मेरे बॉस थे इन्फोसिस में, EY में एंड ऑल, उनको बड़े बड़े मेल्स पसंद नहीं थे. यू नीड टू बी वेरी शॉर्ट, प्रिसाइज एंड कंसाइज. एक टैलेंट को आप यहाँ पे एड्रेस कर रहे हो, हाउ शुड दे वर्क ऑन समराइजिंग द थिंग्स, नॉट एग्जैजरेटिंग बट बी प्रिसाइज, कंसाइज. जैसे आप लिंक्डइन पे हो, आप मोबाइल पे देखते हो, सिर्फ फर्स्ट लाइन देखते हो. People don't read entirely. They see the hook. तो आपका first line अगर it is very, I would say, attractive, so people get attracted to that, right? So how do you cultivate that habit? And do you think in Citibank or in Barclays is art of summarizing given a lot of importance?
See, it's really important to understand who your audience is. I'll give you a very practical example. We were building a dashboard to present our reporting, our data that we worked on, for example, so many regulators for so many controls. We have to understand that to my manager, I might give an elaborate detail because she needs to know what I'm doing. But to her manager, I need to crisp it up so that she has talking points with the senior management. But when I'm sending an email to my MD, I literally make it bullet points. He or she needs to know what exactly they want to know. Having the attention capability right now is pretty minimal. What happens? We have a discussion, they say, oh, can you send an email? The minute we send an email, can you give me a 60-second download of this? Once we give a 60-second download, they say, can you just build the snippets, send it to so-and-so? We ourselves, and I want to admit that us as leaders also have a time crunch. We cannot go through all the emails that even we would write. None of us, I can, vouch on the email we wrote 5 days ago. We are not going to read it because we know what we want to convey. So grabbing that attention means you need to know the audience very well. Pick out the work that you want them to learn, want them to focus on, and build the whole concept around it. For our current audience who would feel that, okay, can you impress me in 4 seconds? Maybe not. But that's how you learn. You have to sit the consistency approach to gather that information. You have to learn the history and the geography of the concept to actually make an informed decision and do the analysis.
So we have something called as elevator speech. 15 सेकंड की रहती हो. तो elevator में अगर Elon Musk है, you need to be really precise and have absolute clarity कि भाई ये 15 सेकंड लिफ्ट में मैं इनको क्या बात करूँगा. समझो आपके साथ Elon Musk है लिफ्ट में, एंड अगर वो स्टूडेंट को समझना है वो 15 सेकंड में आप क्या बात करोगे Elon Musk से, उनको इम्प्रेस करना है 15 सेकंड में. हाउ डू यू डू दैट? शी हैव स्पोकन अबाउट स्टोरी टेलिंग बिकॉज शी इज टॉकिंग अबाउट कि यार हम स्टोरी प्रेजेंट करेंगे लीडर्स को इन लेस अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. अब आपके साथ Elon Musk खुद खड़े हैं लिफ्ट में, 15 सेकंड ही एलिवेटर पे, आप क्या बोल के इम्प्रेस करोगे उनको?
I would rather ask him what is the success stories that he has built up and what future that he sees to come out of the next gen, and how can I be the next Elon Musk probably.
Okay, what do you think, Rajat sir? 15 सेकंड ही आपके पास Elon Musk के लिफ्ट में, आप क्या पूछोगे उनको?
First of all, no, the probability of me meeting Elon Musk is extremely remote, right?
Sir, manifest कर लीजिए, हो जाए.
हाँ, manifest कर लेंगे, but maybe what I'm trying to come to right here is like अभी ना when you enter corporate you will come to know. Sorry. So दोनों ही बंद हो गया. So once you enter corporate, no, automatically you will come to know summarize करना है, executive summary देना है, whatever. As of now, I think you should focus on reading. to build your vocabulary, to understand how writing works, how to exaggerate, how to concise, reading would really help you. The foundational skills बना लो, बाकी corporate would automatically make you learn. 2 बार ही आपको मेल पे फीडबैक मिलेगा, थर्ड टाइम आप अपने आप अच्छा लिखने लगोगे.
I think this is excellent point, audience. Like reading एक ऐसा skill set है क्योंकि brain का कोई exercise तो है नहीं. So if you see all successful people who have grown, they have a very good habit of reading. Like you might have seen Warren Buffett, right? One of the richest. He reads almost 20 annual reports in a day. I think excellent point you have made out there. Sir, I'm coming to you again, Nishant sir. Is ये हड़बड़ में, summarizing में, urgency में, meeting the deadlines and all, are you not thinking that कि we have put our mental health at stake? कि आप बहुत स्ट्रेसफुल कर दे रहे हो स्टूडेंट्स को कि यार मुझे ये रिपोर्ट आज ही चाहिए एंड ऑल. हाउ डू यू बैलेंस कि यार उनका एक करियर इज प्रॉपर एंड देयर इज अ बैलेंस ऑन दैट?
See, I mean, there are two aspects to it. One is, of course, yeah, I mean, it is tough. It is tough because there's so much competition. Everybody wants to grow faster. I mean, as somebody said, you want to be millionaire in a year or so, right? So if that is the case, I mean, this is people what they've chosen for. But at the same time, it is not sustainable. Believe me, it is not sustainable. You will burn out. You will not be able to produce the same type of output again and again. So the key is what was spoken in the earlier session, I would say, use the technology, right? I mean, I think Yogendra sir was speaking about mental math, right? Somebody spoke about, how earlier days, you used to go and read through the, directories, if nothing else, or dictionary for that matter. So thing is, nothing can, where you are taking time, so time is precious. Where you are taking time, you have to invest again and learn to see how you can save that time. What are the skill set you need to develop? It's all about upskill. Whichever role you are working, you have to keep upskilling. It can be personalized skill, it can be soft skills, it can be your technical skills.
Awesome, Nishant ji. I'll take a pause here and give it directly questions to audience because I think that would be more beneficial if I am allowed for like 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Okay.
Yes,
2
sir.
questions. Okay.
Yes, sir. So we'll be taking 2 questions. So all the students who have any question may raise their hand. A coordinator will be coming to you. Okay, so we have a hand over there. I request the coordinator to please provide the mic to the student to ask the question. Okay, so I have a coordinator coming. Yes, thank you. Can we have your question, please? Yes, it's working. It's working. Please speak.
Good afternoon, all. I am Fiza. I am doing integrated BBA MBA here. So I have a very curious question that with AI and technology changing the way businesses operate nowadays, so how do you see the role of an MBA evolving in next 5 to 10 years?
See, I do want to, acknowledge that AI has taken over. But what is AI doing? It is an enabler, like we all said. It is helping us to do the, menial work that we were doing, and the MBAs or the future you guys are getting us with, to actually use your knowledge to be the decision maker. You are the people who will analyze and make an assessment of what needs to be done. So the future of MBA students, or in that matter, any professional qualification, the focus has been shifted to doing the job, to actually enhancing the job. So you use your skills, give us the decisions, make and implement the changes that you want to do. And I do want to say, I was in a summit recently, and one of the very esteemed leader of our banking industry said one thing which actually stays with me. AI ko sarthi banao, swami nahi. In short, you make it as your peer, your friend, not your boss. It will exist, it will stay. How we utilize our skills, use that to enhance our skills, will make or break our careers. So don't worry about it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, let's move on to our next. Okay, we have an addition.
No, I just wanted to add, like everybody mentioned, successful people will be the one, will not be the one who try to compete with AI, but they would be the one who learn how to work along AI. So it is important that to know that AI is not gonna replace humans, but it is gonna, or it has already changed how work is being performed. Okay, it will take over all the repetitive tasks, all the mundane tasks, and you guys would be doing the core work of analyzing, talking about analyzing stuff. So please don't worry about AI replacing humans. AI will not replace humans, but it will make the process more efficient.
Thank you so much, sir. And can we move to the next question? Okay, where the mic is. Okay, we have a question over there.
Good afternoon, everyone. And to our most beloved, our panel members, my name is Abhishek Topo. Currently, I am pursuing Masters of Business Administration from Mittal School of Business, Lovely Professional University. I would like to ask one question. Do recruiters look for multiple qualities in MBA students with compared to the technical background students? If yes, what are the qualities they are looking for?
Very good question. I think this was something which we discussed, I think, about multi-dimensional skill. So if you are MBA, we again look for whether you can handle technology, do you know overall business realities, what is your, what is your knowledge about, say, geopolitical or macroeconomics. Similarly, a person on the technical side will again try to see, okay, how much, how is able to enhance the business, how is able to enhance my, profitability and all. So it's all about multi-dimensional. That mindset should go away that if I'm an MBA student, I will only focus on this aspect, and if the technical student, he will focus on that. Why we are hired by a company is to increase their profitability, to increase their value. How we are able to do that is more important, and to do that, we have to be multi-dimensional. And same thing happens, we again spoke, once you get hired also, it's not only related to your education. Once you get hired into the company, you may be a part of finance or HR or technical team or operations team. Again, knowing your own domain will help you survive. But if you want to grow and grow fast in the career, then that will not help unless you are multidimensional. So it is, uniform trait needed across all courses which is there today.
See, I'll just want to tell you, how do you differentiate yourself from others? मतलब वो भी MBA कर रहा है, आप भी MBA कर रहे हो. मतलब as a recruiter, what is something unique in you that I should hire you, right? And that's where these professional qualifications we talk about, like CPA, CMA, or any of those professional qualifications. We don't train for CIA, or CISA, or any of the technical skill set, right? Which could be a differentiator कि भाई बंदे ने MBA भी किया है, साथ में एक professional qualification भी किया है. It gives a lot of comfort to a recruiter कि he's very hardworking. He's wanting to do something different than what others are doing, because everyone is doing MBA. You are doing something different. Makes me little attracted to you. Ki, okay, I can look at him, because with AI, it's becoming very difficult to hire people. And I would try to hire people only if they have something additional as per their apart from the regular thing. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Perfectly said. It was a great insight for all of us over here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And with this, I would like to thank all our esteemed panelists for answering the questions of our lovely students over here. And before I request you to move downstage, I would like to invite the chief guest of the event onto the stage, Dr. Colonel Rashmi Mittal, worthy Pro-Chancellor, Lovely Professional University, for the felicitation ceremony of our panelists that are there onto the stage. And with this, I request the chief guest of the day to please move forward for the felicitation ceremony. And first, beginning with the felicitation ceremony of our very own chief guest of the event, I request Shripal Jain ji to please come forward and extend a token of honor and appreciation to the chief guest of our day today. Shripal Jain ji to please come forward and extend a token of honor and appreciation to the chief guest of the day today, Dr. Colonel Rashmi Mittal, worthy Pro-Chancellor, Lovely Professional University. Now I request the chief guest of the day today to please felicitate Shripal Jain ji, founder Simandar Education. I request Shripal ji to please come forward and accept a token of appreciation from our end. And after this, I request ma'am to extend a token of appreciation to Shri Maninder Poddar, Director US Public Accounting Firm. I request Shri Maninder Poddar ji to please come forward and accept a token of appreciation. And with this, I request and invite Shri Rajat Gupta ji, Executive Director, Audit Leader, Grant Thornton Indus, to please come forward and accept a token of appreciation from our end. And next I invite Shri Nishant Mohta ji, Director Finance Invesco, to please come forward and accept a token of appreciation and honor from our end. I request Shri Nishant ji to please come forward. And next up, I would like to invite Shri Sumit Agarwal ji, Partner PKF O Connor Davies, to please come forward and accept a token of appreciation from our end. I request Mr. Sumit to please come forward. And now moving forward, I request Mr. Karan Batra, Vice President from Barclays, to please come forward and accept a token of honor and appreciation from our end. With this, I invite Shri Karan Batra forward. And next up, I request Ms. Richa Chopra, representative from Financial Services Fortune 500 Bank, to please come forward and accept a token of appreciation from our end. And next up, I would like to invite Shri Akash Sehgal ji to please join us for the felicitation ceremony. I request Shri Akash Sehgal to please come forward. And next up, I request Ms. Jayashree Sathya, Managing Director, State Street, to please join us and accept a token of appreciation from our end. I request ma'am to please join us onto the stage. And now moving forward, I request Shri Jokendra Singh ji, President and Group CFO, Hero Corporate Services India, to please join us onto the stage and accept a token of appreciation and honor from our end. Next up, I would like to invite onto the stage Shri Akash Sharma, Managing Director, PwC India, to please join us onto the stage and accept a token of appreciation from our end. Moving forward, I request Shri Amit Agarwal, Partner, BDO India, to please come forward and join us onto the stage. Next up, I invite Shri Amit Agarwal ji onto the stage. Next, I invite Shri Soma Gullapudi, Managing Director, BDO, to please join us onto the stage and accept a token of appreciation from our end. Next, coming onto the stage, we have Shri Soma Gullapudi ji, Managing Director from BDO, joining us on stage. I request sir to please come on stage. And next up, I invite Shri Arun Ramasubramanian, Assurance Service Leader, to please join us onto the stage and accept a token of appreciation from our end. Next, I invite Dr. Nisha Agarwal, Associate Director, HSBC, to please join us onto the stage and accept a token of appreciation from our end. Next up, I invite Shri Rajesh Asopa, Risk Leader, Global MNC Bank, to please join us onto the stage and accept a token of appreciation from our end. Now joining us on stage is Dr. Nisha Agarwal. And next up, we have Shri Rajesh Asopa ji joining us onto the stage for the felicitation ceremony. And next up, And ladies and gentlemen, after this, we'll be having an amazing fireside chat with all of you all. And that would be a fun and engaging session. So I request all the audience to please be seated. And with this, I also invite Mrs. Sakshi Arora to please come forward and accept a token of appreciation from our end. Next up, we have Shri Deepak Khaitan, Associate Director, Grant Thornton Indus, joining us onto the stage. And after Shri Deepak Khaitan, we have Shri Kushal Saraf joining us onto the stage for the felicitation ceremony. I request sir to please join us onto the stage. And next up, I invite Miss Vandana Sharma onto the stage for the felicitation ceremony. And I request the students and the audience to please be seated, as we shall be taking the attendance at the end only. So all the students who are standing right now are requested to be seated and take their seats. And I request the coordinators to do the needful. And next up, we have Ms. Vandana Sharma joining us onto the stage. Thank you so much, and now I request everyone to please come forward for a group picture.
Thank you so much all the panelists, and thank you so much all the dignitaries.
I request all the distinguished panelists to please be seated downstage, as now we are moving towards a very special panel discussion with a truly profound personality of the day, someone who has dedicated herself to the cause of education, meaningful research and nurturing young minds. A mentor, a teacher, a leader, a manager, an orator and an innovator, she has been instrumental in shaping an exclusive and vibrant academic environment at lovely Professional University. Her contributions to education and society have been recognized with several prestigious honors, including the Mother Teresa Award, Rashtriya Gaurav Award, Rising Star of Asia Award and Asia Pacific Achievers Award with a gold medal. And it is our absolute privilege to have her with us today. And with this, I request the chief guest of the day, Dr. Colonel Rashmi Mittal, worthy Pro-Chancellor, lovely Professional University, to please join us onto the dais for a special panel discussion. And with this, I request Sri Shripal Jain ji to please be here as the moderator of this special session. So, So now, as we begin this special discussion, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a huge round of applause for our amazing panelists with our eminent moderator onto the stage.
Yeah, hi everyone. First of all, thank you so much for staying again, going back and coming back again. And it's an absolute pleasure to kind of have a fireside chat with Rashmi Mittal ma'am. And like I always promise, I never use any of those, I would say, cards. And I'll be as natural as possible. I hope I'm allowed for. Right? And Rashmi Mittal ma'am, you started as a lecturer and went on to become one of the strongest leaders, or I would say the popular leader now. Discipline has played a very important role in your life. What is the significance of discipline and how do you rate it?
Yes, discipline. First of all, congratulations for this great event. And I would want to welcome all the guests here on behalf of LPU and all my students. I could see a few questions because I got late. I was busy in the induction of my PhD scholars. So once I saw the students interacting the way they were asking questions, so I was very, very impressed by all the answers, in fact. So thank you so much, first of all, for conducting this event for our students. And you talked about discipline. I think discipline has been a very, very important part in our family and the organization also. And we believe that it is only through discipline that we could achieve these heights. Because as you know, we were almost the first few private universities to come into existence. And there were public universities around us, and you know how public universities work, and a lot of traditionalism was there, and we wanted to run in a very professional way. So the times were so difficult because so much was happening around us, which was very, very informal. So when we wanted to have the professional way, we had to be disciplined. So the times were different, the people were not listening to us, we were trolled by our name also. So a lot of things were happening. So in that scenario, I think probably we had to be very disciplined in our approach and in our attitude and with the students also at large.
कर्नल बनना बहुत अपने आप में ही एक अचीवमेंट है. I mean, you're the owner of the university is a secondary thing, but like we have a morning 4 AM club at Samandar. तो सुबह 4 बजे सब स्टूडेंट्स उठते हैं. मेरे रिवीजन क्लासेस भी इनफैक्ट आई टेक एट अर्ली मॉर्निंग. कर्नल के लिए एक डिसिप्लिन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है जो आज के स्टूडेंट्स में वी सी दैट इन द जेंजी लाइक इट्स नॉट बीइंग टेकन what it deserves to, right? A practical demonstration जो आपके daily life में discipline कैसे आप practice करते हो?
I think सबसे important तो ये है कि आप what time are you getting up and how are you utilizing your every moment of your morning and evenings and afternoons. So I think that's what we practice. A little time to your health and mind is very important in the morning. And what do you do? How do you reach out to students and how you can contribute in their lives, which is meaningful and which is satisfying to me in end of the day. So that is there. And the evening, how do you spend time with your family and how do you create thoughts for yourself which takes you forward. So I think that has been throughout my journey, it has been this.
Awesome. So today's students, ma'am, are not just competing for opportunities locally. They have the potential to build careers with organizations around the world. So what is your perspective of how important it is to prepare students for global employability?
Completely.
And what does it take to help them?
We completely understand. And I think the kind of environment we are able to create because of the diversity that we have. I think the global connections begin from there because since we have students from different countries and different states. So I think that is what we always tell the students that maximum they should interact with each other. The learning begins at home and the kind of collaborations they are able to get in here in the campus, they'll be lifetime. And most of the researches and because I've been witness to that. I'm able to see my students how in first semester they were and how in a semester the things shape up for them. And it is because of the diversity and so I feel they are already into the making of a global citizen. And also if they continue doing so and embrace the technology, which is again global, I think that's the way out for them.
We discussed about in this entire panel discussions and all that a lot of things are changing in AI world. And I was discussing in second panel all the things which are not changing, like consistency, flexibility, discipline, devotion, dedication. एक ऐसा skill set जो change नहीं होगा next 50 साल भी आप रहो, but Shripal, this is one of the skill set that students should always practice. What is that skill set?
I think it is how you make people feel around you is very important. That could be through discipline, through consistency, through your aura, through what you do for people. I think that's very important to show up every day and be consistently working towards your goal. And how do you make people feel around you? So ultimate, that is the skill set. Whatever you may possess, you may have the best of the skill set, but if you're not able to make people feel good around you, I think then you're lacking something major in that.
आपको क्या motivate करता है? मतलब students को तो motivation चाहिए सुबह उठने के लिए. So what motivates Rashmi ma'am?
I think इतना बड़ा objective है to make like bring smiles on people's faces, and I feel satisfied when I'm able to contribute into anyone's life. I think that's इससे बढ़िया मुझे लगता है कि God would not have been giving me a better thing than this. So I'm completely thankful to God Almighty that He's given me this responsibility of making an impact or able to change somebody's life. It's a beautiful thing to happen to me.
So when you work for others, does it gives you power or does it gives you stress?
No stress. It gives me a satisfaction. It gives me, of course, power is there, therefore you're able to do all that. But yes, it gives me a responsibility. Also, it gives me a sense of pride. It gives me a sense of gratitude.
एक ऐसी दुनिया में जहाँ लोग सिर्फ धीरे धीरे अपने बारे में सोच रहे हैं, and you're coming with a thought process कि Shripal, that more you think about others, the more powerful you become in the process. So what is one, I would say, a kind of thing which you'd want to share with the students here? This is something which you should practice, and this will make you grow in their career.
I think whatever comes your way, I think this is their age, that this 4 years or 3 years they are spending here, they should just immerse themselves in whatever is placed to them in the university. They're in the safe hands, and they should explore. Because they should get on to trying different skill sets. They should venture into them. And even if they're not successful, that's fine, because it's the age of failing. The more they fail, the more they learn. And also, I feel that they should also be consistent in whatever, I mean, they should be very clear with whatever they've decided for themselves, and they should be go-getter. So
what time does Dr. Rashmi ma'am wakes up early every day, and what's her daily routine? मतलब आप कैसे करते हो ये पूरा routine?
I get up early in the morning. I get up around 5:30.
Wow.
And I would meditate and do my yoga and stuff and walk and cycling and all. And I practice that every day. I try to do that. And then I come to the university. I spend my time with students and faculty. I enjoy that. And in the evening, and then, yes, whatever.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Rashmi ma'am. And folks, she is on her words, because the moment I spoke to her, she said that a quality is Shripal, that you should always make people feel special. And I feel really special talking to her, because she can make anyone comfortable. When I was going there out, and she's like, Shripal, this is amazing and all. It's such an important quality, and this is a biggest takeaway from today's fireside chat. I don't want to take more time of her, because she's completely preoccupied with a lot of tasks. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking out your time. And thank you, Rashmi ma'am. It's a pleasure having you here and discussing with us.
Thank you so much, Shripal, and we are honored to have all of you. And I'm sure my students have taken a piece of advice from each one of you, and I'm sure they will have their careers already fixed, and they are, as somebody said, that they should believe in destiny also. So it's very important that you immerse yourself and leave it to destiny. And I hope the best for all of my students. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bless you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today and sharing your insights with us. And you have been a blessing for all of us over here. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. And with this, I request ma'am and sir to please take their seats downstage. And I request the audience to please be seated, as we'll be concluding this event before 2 p.m. only. So you don't need to worry about it, okay? Settle down, and we'll be having just a fun chat right now with you all. Just 4 to 5 more questions, and then we'll be done for the day with such insightful words, sessions, and wisdom from our dear panelists. And so now, let's move on to a slightly different format now. which is open floor with our CFOs and corporate leaders. और ये chance usually हमें नहीं मिलता है, हम directly interact नहीं कर पाते हैं. So this is an opportunity and a chance जिसमें हम आज CFOs और leaders से directly interact करने वाले हैं. And it would not be like a structured panel discussion over here. The segment will totally be driven by you people, by the students of Lovely Professional University, because right now you would be the one who would be shooting questions to our eminent leaders who would be seated onto the stage. So now I would like to invite our esteemed panelist onto the dais, Shri Rajesh Asopa, Standard Chartered Bank Vice President, Mrs. Sakshi Arora, PwC Senior Manager Assurance, Shri Akash Sehgal, Grant Thornton, Indus, Associate Director, Shri Deepak Khaitan, Grant Thornton, Indus, Associate Director Audit, Shri Kushal Saraf, KPMG Associate Director, and Ms. Vandana Sharma, CA. So ladies and gentlemen, can we again have a huge round of applause for our esteemed panelists on the dais right now? And now the ball is in your court. So now you have to shoot the questions to our amazing leaders and CFOs to join us onto the stage. So ladies and gentlemen, shall we move on to our first question of the day?
So since it's an informal and random, do we need the chairs?
So whatever you prefer, if you want to start, if you want to sit, it totally depends upon you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hello. Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Here. Hello, sir. I am Kalp. I am doing BTech CAC in the university, and my question was that for a student considering US CPA, what makes the qualification valuable in today's global finance and accounting industry, and at what stage of their career would you recommend pursuing it?
I'll keep it very short to keep the interest of audience. You all are rare diamonds. Studying in a prestigious institution is just when you acquire those qualifications like CA, CPA, CMA, EA, there are other CFA or CIA, you just fit in the right crown. To keep it very simple and short. So continuous learning is very important. Otherwise, it's of no use. How many of you have updated your mobile iOS and Android system without reading the terms and conditions?
I have. Always.
Right? You all have done it. Why? Just to keep your phones updated. Without knowing what is the use, what is the purpose. What stops you to update yourself in your curriculum? In fact, I'm counter-questioning you.
Yes, sir.
So you have to keep yourself updated. When you keep your mobile updated,
Yes,
you have to keep your certification, qualification to fit it in the right crown. You are already a rare diamond, a rare gem. Just look for an opportunity to fit in the right crown. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, now let's move on to our next question of the day. Okay, I can see a hand over there. So can we get a mic? Okay.
A warm afternoon, ma'am. I am Purva Thakur and I am currently a second year student pursuing BTech and CSC specialized in AI and data engineering in collaboration with Futurance, a student of Lovely Professional University. So my question is to you, Sakshi.
Any other question? Please raise your hand. You can. Okay, I can see a hand over there. That. Okay, after him, the mic will be given to you. Okay. Yes, please.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Adarsh Krishna. I'm currently pursuing my bachelor's from Lovely Professional University. So I happen to know about EA, sir, and EA has opened up a lot of opportunities in UX taxation. So what do you see about the professionals in next 10 years? Like how their job opportunities will be in the next 10 years or 20 years, so the demand. I would like to know about that, sir.
So I think if you look for the last 5 years, the way work is being delivered from India to the US or other markets is growing at an insane sort of year-on-year growth. So basis that and basis the requirement which is growing, I feel the demand is huge because if I look at the data, I think 5 years or 4 years before, I think it was 15 odd percentage in terms of what we did from India for the global countries. And today I think someone said it is 2/3. So that is the kind of growth we have seen over the last 5 years. And I feel that it is going to continue for the next 5 or 10 years. So immense growth for sure.
Sir, I would like to add one question to it as well. So as a student who really want to do his expertise in that field, what realistic job opportunities I can expect it from?
So today what is happening is particularly for an enrolled EA, which you're talking about, so in terms of taxation, more and more, in fact, all the big fours and I think most of the CPA firms today have their presence in India. And more than 30, 40, 50% of the work which is supposed to be done from the US is being delivered from India. So if you look into the demand, it is growing insane, right? And if you look for a job today, and I think someone said in the morning session, we have more than 2,000 GCCs as we speak, right? And it was just a handful of, I mean, the count was very few a few years back. So in terms of job, I think it's huge opportunity in terms of what you can get once you clear your EA, in terms of getting into any big fours or other GCC firm supporting the CPA firms of the US market. I hope it clarifies.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so now that girl. Okay.
Hello, sir. I'm Nusrah Yusuf. I'm doing medical radiology and emerging technology second year. So my question is, as we are a student, what is important skills that we should work in developing from now so we can remain relevant to an AI-driven future?
Be a student for life, and Vandana, I would like to pass on to you to address this question.
Yeah, as a qualified chartered accountant and as a student, what I have always learned is that, you should never stop learning, and the student in you, should never die. So after even doing, CA, I started with my studies again pursuing CPA. So everybody is in the race today. So what I have learned in life is that, we should focus on our own journeys. We should understand the whys behind why we are doing it. And we should, never stop learning.
Just to conclude, I want to say that for logistics, the global dependencies on Strait of Hormuz. For knowledge, the dependencies on India. So study hard, work hard.
Thank you so much, ma'am. May I request all the students to have a huge round of applause for all the dignitaries?
Yes. And if we have other questions coming forward. Do we have any questions? Okay, I can see quite a few hands over here. Okay, so I request the coordinator. So we'll be taking last 2 questions now, okay? I request the dignitaries to please be seated. Or if you want to keep it informal, you can stand also. It totally depends upon you. Okay, let's begin with the question.
Hello sir, I am Aditya Oja, currently pursuing BTech CSE first year. My question is from you is, many students decide their work opportunities based on what is in the market. Means many of them decide what is currently in the market, they decide their opportunities on that. From that, they don't see what will happen after 3-4 years and all. But according to you, what should be your consideration?
I think I can answer that question. I think the most of the discussion since panel 1 has been revolving around that. Our world is changing, right? It's dynamic since the beginning of even our careers, probably like, 15, somewhere 20 or maybe 30, 40 years back. For example, when we didn't have laptops or computers, now we have AI. So we also never predicted for our future what would technology or anything would bring out in the market. When we started, we never predicted 15 years later what will going to happen. But we can just prepare ourselves. As I said, that we should have a willingness to learn and evolve ourselves as per the evolving market. So my suggestion to all of you as freshers would be, what your area of interest, you should be going there, not considering what others in the market are doing. Anything, if you are able to add any value to anything, the world will evolve around you, right? So it depends on you how you can make the dynamics around the world getting changed as per your own convenience. So the hardness, the hard work, the willingness that you put in, that would be just so important to you at this moment of your career, not what's going everybody's running behind something. That should not be your focus.
Thank you so much. Now we'll be taking the last question of the day. Let's see who gets the mic.
Okay, I can see a hand over there.
A very good afternoon to all the panelists. My name is Jayashree Rathore and currently I am pursuing BA Honours in Psychology here at Lovely Professional University. My question is to Vandana ma'am. So we as students are beginning our professional journey. So I just want to know that what is that one misconception about building a successful career that you wish you had known earlier? And what would you recommend us to do differently, that would change our direction?
Is a very relatable question. So one misconception we as a students and we as a professionals have that, once we have a good degree, once we have a good job and once we have a good university, our life is pretty sorted. But then, that is the beginning, rather a beautiful beginning. So I would, just tell that, learn from everybody around you, ask questions and, don't constrain yourself to a smaller environment. So take responsibilities, learn whatever you can from your environment and, just don't be limited to the people around you. Go and meet people. And at this very event, what I learned is that, networking is the biggest asset right now, what we have. So talk to people and you'll meet wonderful minds and, don't just limit yourself, yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to our amazing students and to our amazing panelists for answering all the queries and the questions. And if anybody has any question, you can connect with our esteemed panelists via LinkedIn also. They are all there. And it means you must also have your LinkedIn account. It's now mandatory for you all, okay? So thank you so much to our esteemed panelists. I request the panelists to kindly take their seats downstage.
May I now invite Mr. Sripal Jain, co-founder Simandar Education, to address the gathering and deliver the vote of thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a huge round of applause for Mr. Sripal Jain?
Good afternoon, good afternoon, everyone. As we come to the conclusion of this wonderful event, it is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks. And first and foremost, I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to LPU for hosting this important academia industry AI leadership summit and for providing us with such a valuable platform to bring together academia, industry and students. So this was a very scripted pitch again. So I'd again want to talk without saying because I'll talk my heart out. There have been some amazing people from LPU, starting off with Lakhanji, have done tremendous job to do this in less than a week. I would say to gather this kind of audience and doing such a remarkable event. And then along with that, Nitinji, with non-stop consistent messages and all, because I know the names are not written here, but then I really value you both. And then along with that, those wonderful volunteers who came yesterday. It's not easy, guys, to come in like this, talk to the corporate leaders. They were there late night during the dinner time also, including some of the females, like almost 11:30. And they're all telling, sir, is everything okay? And I mean, this is such an amazing culture. मतलब culture बनाने के लिए बहुत time लग जाता है. Right? Skills कोई भी पढ़ा सकता है, but culture एक university बनाती है, and that is what I'm really from, say, any of the Barclays leader or even PwC India also is hiring a lot of people, right? So I think these are the things leaders see कि बंदा कब आ रहा है, क्या कर रहा है, and that relationship, that rapport cannot be automated. How you make the leader feel, like ma'am said, is very important, guys. This is a very important skill set, and I repeat that again and again what ma'am have said. By this, I'd want to thank everyone, and my first and foremost thanks will go to Becker, who has been one of our wonderful partners, who have been here with us, seeing the journeys, and all those people who have been part, including Bharat as well. Thank you so much, everyone. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. And see, जो questions पूछता है, जिसके doubts होते हैं, end में उसको मिलते हैं. So now we have a very special chota sa segment in which the students who came up with their questions and queries will be given a token of appreciation from our end. And for this, I request the chief guest of the day today, Dr. Colonel Rashmi Mittal, worthy Pro-Chancellor, Lovely Professional University, to please join us on stage. And I also request Shri Shripal Jain ji to please join us and extend a token of appreciation to the students who have asked questions. And now I request the chief guest of the event and Shri Shripal ji to please for a group picture with our dignitaries. I request Saurabh sir to please stay back as we have a group picture with Mr. Digvijay also. Thank you so much to the chief of the event and all the dignitaries who have joined us today, and thank you to all our audience. And I request everyone to please be seated as we'll be marking our attendance. I request the technical team to please display the QR code for the attendance.